$100 or dinner with Albert Einstein? That was the question I used to ask people when I wanted to start to talk to them at the bar. And unequivocally, every time that I asked this question, they would say $100, which is ironic because Albert Einstein was a cool dude. He famously pulled math equations out of his brain and made E equals MC squared, which is fire. But there was a subset of people who were always like, you know what, I would love to have dinner. Maybe not with Albert Einstein, but maybe with my idol. For some of those people, that meant having dinner with Bethany Moda. That meant having dinner with the creators of Smosh. Maybe that even meant having dinner with Usher and will.i.am. Oh my gosh, gosh, gosh. I did it again, so I'm gonna let the beat rock. Famously. But for me, if you would ask me that question, I would actually switch that dinner to a breakfast, and I would have it still with one of my idols. Spoiler alert, I actually got to do that. So I had breakfast with someone who has literally shaped the way that I create videos, that I create art, and I wanted to ask him for advice. I'm getting to the age now where it's kind of low-key now or never, which is kind of cap, but that's a whole different thing. But I'm 23, and I really want to get serious about what I do. And I was thinking, bro had the answers. So we're sitting at breakfast, I'm eating my little sandwich, yum, 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 yum. And then I pop the question, you know what, man? I love everything you've done. You are a hero to me. Can you be real? What's a piece of advice that you can give me? He stops eating and he looks up at me. He smirks and he leans back in his chair. And he says, there is no advice. There is none. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm kind of like, what? And he says, any advice I could give you is advice that only pertains to me. Everyone has a different journey. The ladder goes up. You climb up the ladder and the ladder goes up. I'm dumbfounded. Bro's literally breaking my dreams. It's over for me. Until he says this. But the one thing you have to remember is if you want to do something great, make it happen. It didn't really click for me then, but I understood what he was talking about. Making it happen means that no matter what the odds are against you, no matter what people say, no matter what doubts you have in your mind about having and achieving something that you've wanted since you were a little baby, you make it happen. I have a friend who wanted to throw a party in New York. He wanted everything to be red. His name is Khalil. Shout out Khalil. Probably watches this. He is my dearest friend, and his idea was crazy. It was nuts. There were going to be 5 million moving pieces. There was going to be an art exhibit. There were going to be these things on stilts, these monsters, custom costumes made, all of this stuff. And I asked him, like, Khalil, like, how are you doing all of this? And he says, I'm just setting a deadline and I'm just making it happen. Make it happen. We tend to think in very rigid structures. Oh, I need this to have this and then that. But the truth is, we live in a dynamic world. We do. Even if you go to high school, you get into a top university, you're partying at Penn State and it's freaking awesome, and then you get a Big Four accounting job just like everyone told you you should, you might get let go. You might lose your job. There is no security. We're seeing it now with people who are like, I'm just going to study comp sci in college and it's going to be chill. And then hashtag AI pulled up. And then all the tech companies were like, nah, you're fired. Well, you know, we've had budget cuts this year and we're going to have to let you go. They don't care. It's a dynamic world. Things change all the time. And for a lot of us, that stops us from making it happen because we think no matter what we do, it's not going to work. Cap! Make it happen. I finally understood what he was trying to say. Stop asking if and start asking how. Oh, I wonder if I make a clothing brand. How am I going to make this clothing brand? Well, I need a designer. Do I want to design it? Yeah, I want to design it. Okay, so I need to learn Photoshop. I need to learn Illustrator. Okay, I learned Illustrator. I'm going to find a screen printing press. Okay, I'm going to start screen printing. I'm going to send it to people. I'm going to send it to my bro. People in my high school are going to tap in and wear it. When you ask how and not if, you make things happen. You do. Because you're no longer waiting. You're no longer waiting for permission. You're no longer seeking out every excuse possible to just not make something happen. For me, a big thing was at the University of Georgia, I wanted to start a Polish club. For the first year, I wondered, I wonder if there's Polish people, until I was like, screw that. There's a Polish club. I will be making it, and that's that. And after I made it happen, guess what? I met Polish people in Athens, Georgia. There's like negative Polish people there. I met like 8. I made it happen. And the Polish club, shout out, Polish Club of the University of Georgia, still around. Still kicking it. Real talk. So it's about making it happen. It's about asking how. 2025 is coming. It's like around the corner. It's like you're peaking in Counter-Strike. Ooh, ooh. It's around the corner. You know it's coming. So you need to start asking how you're going to make things happen. I want to get a better job. I wonder if they're hiring. How do I get a better job? How do I make some more money? How do I get the Maybach? Maybe, I don't know. How do I get a girlfriend? Still trying to figure that out. I don't know. Maybe tap into dating apps. Maybe not. For me, hasn't been hitting as of recent. But hey, how do I educate myself better? How do I read into more topics I'm interested in? How do I feel like I'm actually doing something good and productive with my life? Because that's a huge one. He was really trying to put me on game to make it happen. It's the same thing with anything, man. When you start asking how, you open up the avenues of possibility. You're like, well, I wonder how. Because a lot of the time when we put our brain power into the ifs, we start to find things that are roadblocks. We're like, well, I wonder if... You have to whip the Maybach around because there's an obstacle. Well, nah, but what if nobody wants my clothes that I work so hard on? Oh. Instead of, how am I going to sell this? How am I going to position this product or position this like piece of clothing, this drip, this jersey, as something like, yo, people need this. Maybe it's to support a greater cause. Maybe you're giving a percentage to a charity, to a dog shelter, to a fund. I don't know. Think how. Not if. Think how. Oh, I wonder if we could go to the moon. No, they were saying, how do we do it? They were sending dogs up to space. Rest in peace. They didn't come back. And it all stems from a dialogue with yourself. That's really what it is. Because sometimes people will tell you, bro, like you could literally do this. Like your clothing brand, like I would tap in. And you're like, nah, you're cap. Like it's not real. I don't believe you. You have to have that belief in yourself. You have to believe you can make it happen, even when the odds are stacked against you. Khalil's event was awesome. It was in a warehouse. It was all red, and like 300 people popped out. It was great. He wasn't thinking of if. He was thinking of how. You think anyone that did anything great thought in ifs? No. They thought in hows. How am I going to do this? Okay, when I do this, how is this going to benefit me? How is this going to be even better than what I did before? Jordan was not pulling up game-winning shots thinking, oh, I wonder if it's going to go in. No, he's like, how do I do a step-back fadeaway so it goes in every time? I got to get in the lab. Okay, I'm locked in the lab. I'm going to be a gym rat. Curry half-court shot. Like, that's what it is. Start thinking in hows, not ifs. Make it happen. Find the way to make it happen. If there's a will, there's a way. No matter what your dream is or what your goal is, find a way to make it happen. And maybe it means dumbing it down. Talked about this before. Make it a little bit more simple. Yeah, I kind of want to be like the next Supreme, mixed with a little bit of Chroma Hearts. Dumb it down. Like, I want to make cool clothing. I want to make a collection that speaks to me. I want to make something that's fire. Okay, great. How do you do that? Well, I need to pick a theme. You know what? I think I want to pick, I love football, so I'm going to pick a football theme. I love the outdoors, too. So maybe it's camping aesthetic meets football. Great. That sounds sick. People would tap in. Make it happen. Whoosh. Make it happen. The difference between the people that you want to be like and you is the people you want to be like. They made it happen. They didn't ask for permission. They didn't ask, oh, what if this goes wrong? No, they made it happen. They figured it out, and they did it by doing it. They said, I'm going to fail. Don't care. Because I'm going to make it happen. And maybe all you need to do is ask how. Zerky Show! This upcoming year is yours. I believe that whatever you have as a goal, you can really achieve it. If the Zerky Show can be your espresso shot, no Sabrina Carpenter, of motivation and inspiration to get the thing done and make it happen, I'm here for you. We are in unprecedented times. If you want to keep tapping into the Zerky Show, you can now do it visually and via audio. Same handle. You can listen to it in the shower. You can listen to it on the way to university in London, England, or wherever you're from. But just know, we're here for you and we're committed to doing it every day, bro. I want you to know I love you and do the things that bring you joy. Make them happen. Because this life is too short. Zerky Show.